Ready for dictation? 3, 2, 1, ready. That they would be searched in presence of gazetted police officer or magistrate. Hearing this, all of them jointly as well as separately stated that they were ready to be searched by lady constables who were in the team of search party, and after having given consent letters they were searched by lady constable. She recovered 5 packets of charas strapped to the waist of a lady, which were weighed after calling for a balance from a constable, and was found to be 4.6 kg. From another lady, 5 packets of charas were recovered, which also strapped to her waist and on being weighed were found to be 5.1 kg, and from the third lady also 5 packets of charas were recovered in the same manner, which weighed 5.1 kg. All the 3 could not show any license to possess the said contraband and started apologizing. PW1, who is a witness of arrest and recovery, has stated in examination in chief that on these ladies revealing that because they had charas, their search would be made in presence of a gazetted police officer or a magistrate, whereon all of them separately and collectively stated that they had revealed what was the truth and that they could be searched by the lady constables accompanying them. The consent letter of first lady is Exhibit K2, of second lady is Exhibit K3, and of third lady is Exhibit K4. In cross-examination, this witness has stated that in Exhibit K1 it is not written that it was your right to give search before magistrate or a gazetted officer. In the said exhibit, it was written that your search would be made in presence of a gazetted police officer or magistrate. In consent letter, it was not written that she did not want to be searched in presence of a gazetted officer or a magistrate, nor was it mentioned therein that she could get herself searched in presence of a magistrate or a gazetted officer, and that such a search was her right. On the consent letter, his small signature is made and accused has made full signature. There was no signature of the lady constable who had taken her search on the consent letter, nor her name is mentioned thereon. On the said consent letter, no signature is available of any companion police officer oblique official of PW1 or that of pursuant to an FIR lodged against unknown persons for offences committed under sections 302 IPC read with section 25 within bracket 1A bracket close of the Arms Act, the applicant was arrested for the said offences on 19/6/2011. Subsequently, detention order dated 30/6/2011 was passed by the district magistrate under sections 3 within bracket 2 bracket close of the National Security Act against the applicant inter alia on the ground that he was involved in extortion of money and giving shelter to underground members of an unlawful association, and his activities were prejudicial to the security of the state and maintenance of public order. In support of the detention order, several documents have been relied on and supplied to the applicant, including the copy of FIR under sections 17/20 of the Unlawful Assembly within bracket Prevention bracket close Act 1967 and copy of another FIR under sections 20 of the said Act and the release orders on bail passed in those cases on 13/12/2010 and 1/6/2011 respectively. It was held by the court that the applicant was arrested on 14/6/2011. The FIR had been lodged against unknown persons. However, the applicant was arrested on 19/6/2011 in respect of the said offences. Subsequently, the detention order dated 30/6/2011 was passed by the district magistrate under NSA on various grounds inter alia that the applicant was involved in extortion of money and giving shelter to underground members of unlawful association, namely Kangli Pak Communist Party, wide notification published in Gazette of India on 13/11/2009, and in activities prejudicial to the security of the state and maintenance of public order. In support of the detention order, a large number of documents had been relied upon and supplied to the applicant, including the copy of FIR number 254 within bracket 1 bracket close of 2010 under sections 17/20 of the Unlawful Assemblies within bracket Prevention bracket close Act 1967 and section 20 of UA within bracket P bracket close Act, and release orders in those cases dated 13/12/2010 and 1/6/2011 respectively had been passed. It was held that admittedly the said bail orders did not relate to the accused in the same case. The accused released in those cases on bail had no concern with the present case. Merely because somebody else in similar cases had been granted bail, there could be no presumption that in the instant case, had the applicant applied for bail, could have been released on bail. Thus, as the applicant in the instant case had not moved the bail application and no other accused. Stop. Please like, comment, share and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.